Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhondiyal. You're watching the urban debate here on Mirror Now. The controversy over Diljit Dosanjh's film has only grown in the last 24 hours after government sources confirmed that it was them that pulled the plug on the film. The government and the censor board have still not gone on record to explain why ZEE5 was forced to drop the film. But, just like yesterday, sources are speaking. Nothing official though. Sources in the government point out that Satluj, earlier titled Punjab 95, was submitted to the Central Board of Film Certification, which means the censor board, 3 years ago. And the censor board then recommended 127 cuts to the film. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have 127 cuts mandated in a film, what remains of the film is a question that needs to be asked to the censor board. But anyhow, the filmmakers challenged the censor board's recommendation in the Bombay High Court, but later withdrew the case before the court could deliver its judgment. Government sources say when the film was released on OTT on ZEE5, it was without the recommended cuts. Now, since OTT is beyond the purview of the censor board, the government invoked its powers in the IT Act and asked ZEE5 to pull down the film. These special powers, ladies and gentlemen, to pull down online content can be invoked only for national security reasons. There are some 5 or 6 grounds, but the larger umbrella ground is national security. ZEE5, the OTT platform that was hosting Diljit Dosanjh's film, had simply no choice but to comply, though they did say they stand by the film and the conversation it has started. Diljit, the star of the film, has said that he expected the film to be pulled down, but expressed dismay that even in 2026, just like in 1995, voices are still being suppressed.
जिन्हां दी आवाज़ नूं मतलब 1995 च भी दबाया, अज असीं 2026 च यार कमाल दी गल है, हद ही हो गई सारी। अज असीं 2026 च जी रहे हैं ते कित्थे खड़े हैं। अज भी तुसीं यार गल नहीं करन दे रहे जिहड़ी ऑलरेडी जिहड़ी कोर्टां ने डिसीजन दित्ते होए आ ਉਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕੋਈ ਨਵੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਫਿਲਮ।
And so Satluj has become the center of a national debate over censorship, OTT regulation, artistic freedom, and national security. The film's journey has been rocky. It changed names twice, battled the censor board for 3 years, went to court, bypassed theaters, landed on OTT, and then disappeared almost as quickly as it arrived. It was pulled down by the government. Now, the makers refused to accept the 127 cuts suggested for a theatrical release, and then the makers chose a different route. Instead of cinemas, the film landed directly on OTT. Now, because OTT platforms do not fall under the censor board certification process, they thought the matter was sorted. OTTs are governed separately under Part 3 of the Information Technology Rules 2021. Government sources say the film was quietly released online without these recommended cuts, but once it came to the centre's notice, ZEE5 was asked to take it down, reportedly under the IT rules, citing security concerns. But here's where the story gets as complicated as the subject it is based on. The ban wasn't a censor board idea or an order. This wasn't even a court order. The centre reportedly reached for one of its most powerful legal tools in the digital space, 69A of the Information Technology Act, a provision that's not invoked routinely. It is reserved for exceptional situations involving national security, India's sovereignty and integrity. It empowers the government to direct intermediaries to block or remove online content. In the case of Satluj, government sources say it was this provision, read with the IT Rules 2021, that became the legal basis for asking ZEE5 to take down the film. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the film, originally titled Punjab 95, is a biographical drama on human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra, who investigated alleged enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings during Punjab's insurgency. Directed by Hanit Rehan, starring Diljit Dosanjh, the film follows Khalra's efforts to document thousands of alleged illegal cremations before he himself was killed by the Punjab police in 1995 after a sudden disappearance. Supporters are describing the film as an important account of human rights violations. Critics argue it presents only one side of Punjab's violent past while underplaying the brutality of Khalistani terrorism and the challenges faced by the security forces. Today, Khalra's lawyer is saying that to villainize him as a pro-Khalistani activist like some in the right-wing ecosystem are, it's a grave injustice to the memory of the man. He says he's disappointed at the way the central government has operated.
पहले तो बड़ी खुशी हुई कि मूवी रिलीज हो गई क्योंकि हमने तो आशा ही छोड़ दी थी 4 साल से सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिला था सेंसर बोर्ड से तो अचानक नाम बदल के मूवी आ गई तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी हुई कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को गुड सेंस प्रिवेल की है और 2 दिन के बाद फिर मूव कर दी तो मुझे लगता है गुड सेंस है नहीं थे वो सरप्राइज ही था तो प्रोड्यूसर ने पता नहीं किस तरीके से वो OTT में डाल दी और द मोमेंट इन्हें पता चला उन्हें बंद कर दी.
Ladies and gentlemen, the history of Punjab's insurgency, fueled and funded by Pakistan, is complicated. In the mid-80s and 90s, this was not a law and order problem, this was a war. Khalistani militants targeted the police and their families. KPS Gill, the police chief, retaliated likewise. Innocents got caught in the crossfire of retribution. The police operated in the shadows, extrajudicial killings became common. It was this that was documented by Jaswant Singh Khalra. Yesterday, government sources said it was for national security reasons that the film was banned. They said in an election year, they couldn't release a film that would create unrest and fan pro-Khalistani sentiments. The opposition in Punjab is up in arms. The BJP doesn't know what to say.
ਇਹ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਧੱਕੇਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੰਥ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਦਵੇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਧੱਕੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਦੁਹਰਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਯਤਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਜਨਤਾ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਉਸੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਖਮ ਕੁਰੇਦਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਕੋਈ ਫਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਫਿਲਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਉਦੋਂ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੀਆਂ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ CBI ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਂਚ ਤੇ ਆਧਾਰਿਤ ਉਹਦੇ ਦਸਤਾਵੇਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰਿਤ ਉਦੋਂ ਦੀ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਸੱਚ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੋਈ ਇੱਕ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਰੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਧੱਕੇਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਕਦੇ ਬਰਦਾਸ਼ਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ
ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਮੰਦਭਾਗਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਬੜਾ ਹੀ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੰਡਕਟ ਹੈ ਭਾਰਤ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇਹ ਰਵੱਈਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਭੇਦਭਾਵ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੇ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰ ਫਾਈਲਸ ਵਰਗੀਆਂ ਮੂਵੀਆਂ ਕੇਰਲਾ ਫਾਈਲਸ ਵਰਗੀਆਂ ਮੂਵੀਆਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਧੁਰੰਧਰ ਵਰਗੀਆਂ ਮੂਵੀਆਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ BJP ਨੂੰ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹੇਆਮ ਪਰਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਰਾਈਟ ਦੀ ਵਾਇਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਹੋਇਆ ਅਤਿਆਚਾਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੇ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਸ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਸ ਫਿਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਭਾਰਤ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦਿੱਤੀ
ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਲਤ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਰਟ ਦੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕਲਾ ਦੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਤੱਥਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਆਨਣ ਦੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਗਲਾ ਘੁੱਟਿਆ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਕਦਮ ਦੀ ਨਿਖੇਧੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਔਰ ਹਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਮਨੁੱਖਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜੋ ਬੈਨ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਕਰਨਾ
मैं इसका रीजन पता कर रहा हूँ कि रीजन क्या है और हम इसको टेकअप कर रहे हैं
की एक मैं समझता हूँ पॉलिटिकल हिस्ट्री के ऊपर डिपेंड है उसको जो बेस बनाया गया है तो जब पंजाब में कांग्रेस पार्टी का राज था 92 से लेकर 97 तक तो बहुत बड़े स्तर पे अत्याचार पंजाब के युवा के ऊपर हुआ पंजाब के नौजवानों के ऊपर हुआ उसको दर्शाती ये फिल्म जो है तैयार की गई थी तो उसको बैन करना मैं समझता हूँ ये बहुत ही गलत बात है और यहाँ ऐसा लग रहा है कि यहाँ दोनों पार्टियां कांग्रेस पार्टी और BJP का लीडर मिल चुके हैं क्योंकि इन तीनों पार्टियों का एक कच्चा चिट्ठा जो था वो इस फिल्म में उजागर किया गया है इस फिल्म में दर्शाया गया है.
Ladies and gentlemen, the government got Satluj banned in India. Why had it or the censor board not come out and told us why? Is it really of a view that a film can destabilize peace in India and fan separatist tendencies? If Kashmir Files and Kerala Story could be released and rewarded, why not Punjab 95, now called Satluj? Has the government's reaction to the film been OTT, that is over the top? That's the question I'm taking to my guests this evening. Manish Bariyar is a political analyst joining us on the broadcast. Raman Malik will be joining us in just a bit as well. Bikramjit Passi, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Naginder Benepal, national spokesperson of the Shiromani Akali Dal. Ramneek Singh Maan is a Sikh rights activist. And Akshay Rathi is a director at Ashirwad Theatres Private Limited. He is joining us on the broadcast as well. Mr. Bariyar, we are yet to hear officially either from the censor board or from the government. But sources within the government are saying they have invoked their special powers under the IT Act 69A, cited national security as a reason and asked Z5 to pull down the film. Before I ask you anything, I want to ask you what is the problem in the government or the censor board conducting a press conference and telling us what exact problem they have against the film and why they think this film can fan pro-Khalistani tendencies in Punjab.
Good evening to you and to my co-panelists and everyone. I think the first thing what we have to realize that government, by taking this down, this particular movie, it would have been really good to embarrass Congress party. So there must be some reasons that are beyond small-time politicking. It has to be something more which is related to national interest. But otherwise, anything related to Punjab and those dark chapters to Punjab, the embarrassment is always of Congress party, right? BJP was not a party at that time. So it doesn't make sense for government to really do what it is doing. So there has to be some intelligence inputs. There has to be some, inputs to the government that it has taken a step that it has. But I would also kind of, I've been hearing a lot about human rights activists and all that. I don't want to really tar Mr. Kalra, now he's not more. But I did my own small research, and whatever I read, he seemed to be a Khalistani sympathizer. So, and, he was in Canada on the invitation of World Sikh Organization, and they have not covered themselves with glory when it comes to, they have, if you go onto the website and see, they talk about self-determination in Punjab. And on their invitation, he was there. He was allegedly in UK also for similar things. So I think we have to look at things in perspective. Just because some of the people have said that he was a human rights activist, it doesn't make him a holy cow in that sense. He had his own interest. He was doing things. He brought out something which was important. I'm not denying his contribution towards what he did, because ultimately Supreme Court also punish the police officials. But at the same time, I think we have to look at this particular issue in larger context and not in a very, narrow.
Mr. Bariyar, essentially your argument then is that don't make Mr. Khalra out to be the hero that the film is making him out to be, because he had pro-Khalistani tendencies. My question to you is, did you hear Mr. Khalra say that Khalistan, we need a separate state of Khalistan, we don't want to be part of India? Because as far as my research suggests, there has been no such account against him. So is it fair to brandish someone as anti-India and pro-Khalistani when the NHRC has also accepted the findings of Mr. Khalra? They may have been exaggerated. 25,000 may have been an exaggerated figure. But the fact is extrajudicial killings happened. The fact is that he went from crematorium, he went from burial grounds to burial grounds, and he did document unmarked graves.
No, I think there's a lot of, it's not as black and white as you are making it out to be. There's a lot of gray. He's the kind of people he met in Toronto, and there were a number of them were Khalistani, supporters and sympathizers. And there is an allegation against him that he has taken a lot of allegations that were particularly targeted to police people, and he was, he completely ignored the atrocities which were done by militants on people, people from Bihar who were lined up and they were killed, Hindus, right? He never said a word against them. So it was a lot more gray. And from that perspective, and I think more importantly with, Punjab being, that how the militancy was fanned by Pakistan. And there's always a government always fears that with such kind of, movies, it might really fan it, especially during election time, because nowadays social media, anything can happen. But at the same time, I would like to answer your question related to Kashmir files also, because you said that,
Kerala
Kashmir
story
Files,
as
if
well.
it can come out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kerala
why
story as
not
well.
this? I think there is a lot of difference between what happened in Kashmir to Hindus and what happened in Punjab, right? The Sikh people were not at the receiving end. Here, the Hindus were at the receiving end. So there is no comparison between what has happened, right? And
There is a
anyway,
comparison, I'll
particularly,
tell
I'm
you.
not very.
There is a comparison, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the comparison is. The comparison is that if you look at a story like the Kerala story, and if you look at Satluj, they're controversial films. Like, they are films that are made on uncomfortable subjects, right? The charge against Kerala Files was exactly the same, that it may fan a law and order situation in India, that it will create a sense of disharmony against a particular community, that is the Muslim community, right? So there were these concerns as well. The Kerala government went to court
I
and
would
said, we
differ
have these concerns.
on
Ek minute.
this, because I felt
They
that,
said we have these concerns. They also said that we have concerns about this 36,000 ka figure, that 36,000 Hindu and Christian women were taken away to becoming ISIS brides. The matter went to court. The court decided the filmmakers need to get their facts right and change the 36 ka figure. The court also decided that it was the state government's job to look at law and order, not a film's job. And therefore, they allowed the release of the film. But they said the filmmakers need to correct their facts. Now, similarly, if anyone has a problem, they can go to court against this film. Why is the government so scared that it is not even speaking on the issue? चलिए मनीष जी, आपने मुझे ना पिछले 5, 7, 8 मिनट you have carefully and clearly explained to me what your view is. Now, are we not entitled as citizens, or is Diljit not entitled as an artist to know what exact problem the government has with this film? Whether it believes that pro-Khalistani sentiments can be fanned, whether the government believes that Mr. Khalra wasn't exactly the sort of human rights activist you would have wanted him to be. भाई गवर्नमेंट से भी बोल दो ना, आके कुछ बोल दें, बस समझा तो दें. सेंसर बोर्ड से बोल दो कुछ बोल दें, बीजेपी से बोल दो कुछ बोल दें. No one is saying anything.
122 cuts they said, but they refused to do that.
127 cuts. So where are they today? Tell us what those cuts were. Tell us what exactly was the problem with those cuts. Ramneet Singh Mann, anyway, Ramneet Singh Mann, this is very fishy, huh? Mr. Bariar, this is very fishy. That you use a tool as strong as 69A to offload online content and you don't explain why. Because the only reason you can do it is for national security reasons. Is Mr. Khalra a national security reason? Ramneet Singh Mann, today there are questions being raised on the subject of the film itself. To say this man was not a hero, so when you glorify him, what are you essentially doing? You are essentially fanning flames of Khalistan in Punjab again.
You know, you are pure and squarely underestimating the maturity of the Indian audience. We've seen movies in the past and there's been no conflict as such. I mean, there is probably a doubt in the minds of some people that this might fan violence or this might fan Khalistani sentiments. But what has stopped the Khalistanis over the last 40 years, they have been at it. At the same time, when I hear somebody say that Sikhs were not at the receiving end, I'm sorry, sir. Look at the numbers. Every person who died in that era was a Punjabi, irrespective of the religion. Whether they were Hindus, whether they were Sikhs, whether they were Muslims or Christians. Yes, it is true that Hindus were singled out. They were brought down from buses, they were shot down by the terrorists. That's what they did. But truth be told, be that as it may, how can you hide the truth? Let the truth be out. Let people judge. If you don't want to see the movie, don't see the movie. But why ban a movie? It tells the uncomfortable truth of that era. It was a dark era of Punjab. We have gotten over it. But everyone deserves justice, dignity, and truth. And this is a part of the truth. They've received justice through the Supreme Court. Either you go back to the Supreme Court, file an appeal, get those policemen released. So you're not doing that, right? So you've accepted that this man was murdered.
And he was murdered by the Punjab police because people responsible for the killing were 4 cops. And their sentencing, life sentencing was upheld by the Supreme Court of this country. Mr. Raman Malik? You're joining us on the broadcast. No one is denying the fact that what happened in Punjab during the mid-80s and mid-90s was extremely complicated. There were layer upon layer. It was Khalistanis who attacked the families of policemen and killed their families. There was a retaliation from KPS Gill. We all understand that. But we also understand that innocence got caught in the crossfire. And what Mr. Khalra did was to document that. एक पिक्चर से the mighty Indian government इतनी घबरा गई कि उसको ब्लॉक कर दिया by invoking 69A of the IT Act. National security reason. Who will believe it?
And that is why you and me are safe in this country. If the mighty Indian government was not there, you and me would not have been safe from, and we have been attacked for over 1,000 years constantly from across the borders, from across the Hindu Kush. I will show you this picture. What does it say? This picture says that the emblem down sign is Khalistan Liberation Movement International. So that is one thing that I was talking to you yesterday. Secondly, for your information and reminding you, even Burhan Wani was a headmaster's son. So let's not have no compassion for that boy also then. Another major issue that I would like to bring up here is, those were Punjab from 80s onward, even till today, Punjab has been going through extraordinary situations, extraordinary emotions and extraordinary complications. What Mr. KPS Gill did and whatever modus he applied was required probably in that time, because that were extraordinary situations. It was not something you can hang him for. Otherwise, every second day there was some shooting, some grenade blast and something. Please
So,
let
Mr.
me finish
Malik,
now.
Mr. Malik, then make a film on KPS Gill. If Diljit has decided to make a film on Mr. Khalra, you or whoever disagrees with Diljit can make a film on Mr. KPS Gill.
Mr. Diljit,
Why ban a film under the pretext of national security when no one, not even the government's best friends, will believe that national security can be rocked in this country by a mere film? किसी को उस फिल्म के बारे में पता भी नहीं चलता अगर आप लोगों ने उसे रिलीज होने दिया होता.
मैडम, आप राजदीप से बहुत अच्छी हैं. आप राजदीप मत बनिए. So my point is very simple.
He is my ex-boss and I respect him a lot.
You may respect him, others may not. That is their own discretion. I fully agree that the freedom of expression should be there, especially for the artists. But then it was Mr. Nehru who made it sure that freedom of expression is not absolute in this constitution. It was not Mr. Modi, it was Mr. Nehru. Coming forward, I do not have a problem with this, but my problem is this, that Kerala Files, when you were referring to Kerala Files, the producers went to the court. They asked for solution. Did Mr. Trehan ask it? Did Mr. Dosanjh ask it? No, they did not. They took the back door. Why? Why the back door? You only pay bribes when you know your file is incomplete. You do not pay bribes if your file is not having problems.
Akshay is a filmmaker. He'll respond to you.
And last and not the least, let me just finish it, please. My point is simple. That अगर आपको इस सब से इतना ही प्यार है and law and order is not an issue for you, then वो अमृतपाल बेचारा बैठा हुआ उसको भी रिलीज कर देना. आम आदमी पार्टी, आज उनके स्पीकर बोल रहे थे that this is not right. You were spanked by the Akal Takht Sahab for a law that you passed, and today you are talking about Panth. So there is a lot of khichdi there. It should not be mixed with the
खिचड़ी
Panth.
कैसी भी
It
हो,
should be...
खिचड़ी को बनने का हक है, जैसे फिल्म को बनने का हक है और फिल्म को रिलीज होने का भी हक है. Now, just because it tells an uncomfortable story doesn't mean that it needs to be banned. Just because it tells the story from a point of view that you don't agree with doesn't mean it doesn't have the right to be released, right? As I said, KPS Gill पे भी एक फिल्म बना लीजिए. Again, it's what happened in Punjab was complicated. And there are many people who have lived through that era who say that KPS Gill के बिना insurgency in Punjab would not have been over. आज भी वहाँ पे खालिस्तानीज would have been running riot if it was not for KPS Gill. But then you have to look at KPS Gill's other record as well. You also have to look at the fact that in Punjab during those times, innocents were killed for medals by the police. वो भी हुआ था. People were picked up in the middle of the night, killed and cremated. वो भी हुआ था. You know, and this was 40 years ago. This was not 100 years ago. So the memory is still alive. And a lot of people are talking about it on social media. But anyway, I just want to get in Akshay. Akshay, you know, there is a point that has been raised. Mr. Malik, ab dusra, just listen to another point of view as well. Na?
There is
Akshay,
a Supreme Court.
Akshay, ek minute. Akshay, Mr. Malik has raised an important point, and I think it's a pertinent point. When the filmmakers had already gone to the Bombay High Court, and the Bombay High Court was hearing the matter, why did they suddenly withdraw from the case? And why did they suddenly decide to put it on OTT? They could have waited for the court's verdict. So this, essentially what they did was shaitani, badmashi.
So, good evening, Shreya, and to all the panelists out here and the viewers. Just a correction, Shreya, I'm not a filmmaker, I'm a film exhibitor. We run a chain of cinema halls and we distribute movies. So technically, on this panel, I happen to be probably the only person who is representing the entertainment sector in that sense. The point I'd like to make is, you know, before me being a film exhibitor, any of the gentlemen on the panel being politicians or party spokespersons, all of us are Indians first. And while I completely support and stand for the freedom of expression for the entertainment sector or otherwise, I believe that the freedom of expression comes with a certain degree of responsibility. And if the government has taken a certain call, then I think it's important that all of us respect it at a certain level, because I'm sure there's enough input that's gone into the decision that's been made by the government of the day. And it's unfortunate that the freedom of expression of an artist had to be curtailed or taken away. And I really wish that, you know, this thing that you spoke about, the backdoor entry that was attempted, that probably was the ticking point that, you know, made the government really push the buttons and pull this off, invoking the IT Act. I really wish that, you know, this battle was fought through the courts, and then whatever it takes beyond that, right? I mean, if it is 122 cuts, you have the other courts, you have the revision tribunal, you have multiple means to deploy, which unfortunately wasn't done from what I understand. And if this has happened, and you know, you also spoke about the government taking a stand and speaking out about what they've done, you know, what they've done. I can assure you, Shreya, had that happened, this would have probably become a lot more controversial. It would have ruffled more feathers. It would have created more disharmony, more polarized opinions, and given this matter a lot more fuel and created more polarized opinions, which is obviously not something that you want in a country.
I mean, why do you not want polarizing opinions in a country? A country has all kinds of opinions, right? It would be a very dull and boring world if all of us agreed with each other. I'm not saying, so my point is everyone has a different point of view, which is why when we do debates, we have 6 people who are represented on the show. Are you trying to tell me that no one who has a view that is a polar opposite to the ruling dispensation has an outlet to be made into a film? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. Like I said, I completely support that freedom of expression. But if there is input to the government where it can potentially impact national security, then I think what needs to be done needs to be done. And that is what the government seems to have done. Otherwise, I'm all for polarizing opinions. In fact, a lot of people who are associated with the film are personal friends of mine. And I'd absolutely root for them to make these films. And interestingly enough, the producers of this film are RSVP, Mr. Ronnie Screwvala, who's also made Uri, which is a film that celebrates the, you know, the work that the BJP government did after the Uri attacks in retaliation to Pakistan's aggression. So there really is no scenario of somebody being pro or against a scenario.
And Z5, the OTT platform, its owner is a former Rajya Sabha MP from a BJP ticket, known to be close to the BJP, which is what is perplexing, because you know, whoever, I'm just getting in Naginder Benipal, there is absolutely no, you know, just to see the government's point of view here, there is absolutely no reason for the BJP government at the center to get this film banned. And yet they have gone ahead and done it. So maybe they do actually believe that national security is a concern. I mean, I don't know why anyone would think that a film can be this powerful. I don't know why anyone would doubt the patriotism of Sikhs in this country. But anyhow, if they believe so, they have done what they think is in the best interest of this country.
Good evening, Shreya, and good evening to all the panelists today. So my first question is, government should clear its stand on the removal of the film, whether it's about the script, whether it's anti-national or Punjab or actor, whether it is against Diljit Dosanjh. When it comes to Punjab, what I have seen is you cannot say that national security cannot become a sealed envelope for every uncomfortable question. So what we are seeing is whenever an uncomfortable question is raised, whether by a movie or by a song or by any art, so government comes up with the umbrella and say it is anti-national. First, they have to point out that these things are anti-national and these things are supporting Khalistan or whatever activities or whatever terrorist groups they are supporting. So first they have to clear their stand, then only we'll be able to see whether the government is right or wrong. So the way they have banned or removed the movie from the platform, OTT platform, under the anti-national category, so without explaining, without putting any explanation in the public, that is raising doubts. So whenever it comes to Punjab, Mr. Jaswant Singh Khalda, I just want to answer my friend on the panel, Mr. Manish Barrier. He was saying that he was related. There's a lot of gray in this situation. So I just want to ask a question: whether there is any FIR against Mr. Khalda?
No.
No. There is no FIR. There are no allegations that he was involved with Khalistan. So how can he say that he was anti-national? So the movie, I have watched that movie on the platform, Z platform. So I don't think, being a Punjabi, there was any anti-national thing in the movie. Not even a single scene was anti-national.
Okay. I will tell you what some people on social media are saying, Mr. Benipal. There is one particular scene of a chief minister being blown up, right? You've seen that film and you know who the chief minister is.
Yes,
I want to ask you, and the commentary around that scene is this: why would you want to glorify the assassination of a chief minister? Because the way the music plays out, the background music plays out during that one particular scene, the way that scene is built, it's almost like you're glorifying the assassination. That is one of the problems that people have cited with the film. That the violence has been glorified.
If I will see it politically, at that point of time, the chief minister was Mr. Beyant Singh.
Correct.
Who happens to be the grandfather of one of the politician who is in the present government. So maybe that scene doesn't suit them. So this is the only reason. So they cannot, constitutional standards cannot change according to whether the narrative suits the government or not.
But in this
so
case,
today what they are doing is.
But in this case, I mean, Raman Malik, you can come in, or Mr. Barrier, you can come in. But in this case, honestly, the BJP had nothing to do with what happened in Punjab in 1985 and 1995. I mean, if there was someone who should have been completely embarrassed by the film, was the Congress party, which, by the way, is now defending the film, Mr. Malik.
I know, and I'm asking this very pertinent question from the Ceremony Akali Dal member also. That had it been instead of Mr. Ben Singh, had it been Mr. Badal, you would be okay with it? You would not be. Number one. Number two.
Sir, let me answer.
Had it been, please listen to the questions. Question paper to pehle answer na karyo. Question paper to pehle answer na karyo. Rukyo.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਆਨਸਰ ਵੀ ਸੁਣ ਲਓ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਐਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਅਕਾਲੀ ਦਲ
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ
ਬੀਜੇਪੀ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦਿਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਬੀਜੇਪੀ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦਿਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ
ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਅਤ ਦਾ ਬੇੜਾ ਗਰਕ ਕਰਨ ਆਏ ਹੋ
ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐ ਦੱਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਬੇੜਾ ਗਰਕ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਸਟ ਸ਼ੋ ਮੀ ਵਨ ਥਿੰਗ ਜਸਟ ਸ਼ੋ ਮੀ ਇਵਨ ਅ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਪੇਪਰ ਵਾਈ ਦਿਸ ਮੂਵੀ ਇਜ਼ ਟੇਕਨ ਡਾਊਨ ਸ਼ੋ ਮੀ ਵਨ ਪੇਪਰ ਫਰਮ ਦ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਸਾਈਡ
in her office is shot
Mr. Malik, show me one paper why this movie has been removed. Show me one paper.
No, the government is on a weak wicket there. It's a valid question.
Show me one paper.
Why you are banning a film? Tell us. and then let there be a debate.
Shreya, another important question is, why is it that Z is not coming forward with a proper legal explanation why they've taken it off? Had the government given them a letter? If the government has given them a letter, they should come out.
Yes. Yes. Do you know what Z5 has said? Ek minute, Mr. Beniwal. Do you know what Z5 has said? Z5 has said, under the current circumstances, we are pulling down the film, we stand by the film, we stand by the conversation it has started, we are going to try and get it back. Ab Z5 put the film out. It is not in their interest to drop it apne aap se. There has been political pressure on them. They have been asked by the government to drop it. And the government, as I said, has invoked IT Act 69A, Clause 69A, extraordinary powers to get the film dropped. So Z5 had no choice. They were arm twisted. They were asked by the government to do it, and they can't defy the government. Why should they defy the government? Panga kyun lega koi? But Mr. Malik, the government is on a weak wicket, at least as far as, banning a film without giving any reasons is concerned. Ye to maan lijiye aap. Mr. Barrier, ye to manna hi padega.
Stranger things have happened in this country before. In fact, Da Vinci Code book was banned by Congress party in Punjab, citing concerns about Christian sentiments. Right. I'm sure you will say, yes, they were right. Or I would need your opinion on that. And also Mr. Man's opinion on that. In fact, India was the first country that banned satanic verses. First country. First Asian country.
Very wrong.
First country
shouldn't have done it.
Right. So,
very wrong. Shouldn't have done it. Banning a book, a film, a poem is anti-democratic.
No. So there was a book, Polyester Prince, on Ambani, that was banned by Congress party.
Galat kiya?
Now, and there was there was number
of
books
unhone galat kiya to aap bhi galat karenge. Is that the logic?
Sometimes government does it for security reasons. Now there are number of gray areas, layers on that, which is not possible for people to be really, come out and explain. So sometimes we have to also take care of the wisdom of the government at hand. In this case, at least, my argument has been BJP has nothing to gain out of this. The country has to gain.
But I agree. I agree as far as the BJP not gaining anything out of this situation is, because even I can't think of what it could possibly be unless it feels that, if pro-Khalistani sentiment is fanned, it could probably, Mr. Passi, improve your chances in Punjab.
Thanks for giving me some time, although in the last.
Mr. Passi, कल आपको मैंने बहुत टाइम दिया था, ऐसे मत बोलिए.
कल दिया था, आज नहीं. चलो मैं पहले बात स्टार्ट करता हूँ. सबसे पहले तो मिस्टर मलिक ने जो कहा that Mr. Khalra was supporter of Khalistan, etc., and my learned friend had stated, replied that not even a single FIR against him. Even Supreme Court has declared him a human rights activist. Kindly read the judgment, wherein the police officers were convicted. He was declared as human rights activist, and extrajudicial killings, either by terrorists or by these police officers, cannot be justified. The constitutional. These are anti-law. And more thing I want to say, is this the first movie based on a police encounter? Then what was the subject of Jolly LLB 2, wherein a Muslim person was encountered by the police? It was also a fake encounter. What was the film? Batla House. What was the film? Singham. Ab tak 56. Wow, what are you saying? Now, another friend says that the CM has been assassinated in this movie. This is very dangerous. This is very anti-social. This is anti-national. How it is anti-national? Have you forget the film Qaum De Heere 2014, wherein the assassination of Indira Gandhi was on? It was released. Have you forget the movie 31st October 2016, wherein the assassination of Indira Gandhi was on? Was it anti-national? What are you saying? I have a book, Shreya, I want to refer some books. This is the book wherein the killings in Punjab are mentioned, and even thousands of Sikh people were killed by the terrorists because they were not supporting the terrorism. They were not supporting the terrorism. Although, no doubt, Hindus were killed. Even they were killed in the buses, in the cities, but Sikhs were also killed. This is the movie wouldn't have put any dent on the Hindu-Sikh relationship, but the such type of conversation, such type of debates, wherein they are openly saying that Hindus were killed, not the Sikhs.
Mr. Malik.
These are more dangerous. These are more anti-nationals. This is a book GBS Sidhu's written, Khalistan Conspiracy.
Mr. Malik. Mr. Malik. Mr. Malik.
Conspiracy.
I am going to bring you back to Machis. 1995 में release हुई थी, made by Gulzar Saab. Very close to the time period where Punjab had burnt. It didn't cause any law and order problem in Punjab. It didn't fan pro Khalistani tendencies. 40 years down the line, a film is made from one point of view. No film can be neutral. How can we be neutral? We all vote. Since the age of 18, all of us vote. How can we be neutral? So film is made from one point of view. You don't like that point of view or you find that point of view dangerous, you'll ban the film. तब तो emergency पे कोई film ही नहीं बननी चाहिए, because emergency पे बहुत films बनी हैं. Some films have been made from the point of view of Indira Gandhi. Other films have been made from the point of view of the opposition then. Everyone has a view in this country. Everyone is entitled to express their view, whether it is on a TV debate like we are doing today or whether it is making a film. You don't like it? Make a film on KPS Gill. Glorify him. Tell us he was a hero. But if they want to call Mr. Khalra a hero, so be it. Nah, let's accept it and move on. Why ban the film?
I, in my opening comments, very categorically said that I am totally for expression of artist interest and its expressions. But responsibility towards your nation and towards the sentiments of and what it could percolate into is a different issue altogether. That is one. Please let me finish now. 1995 was a different government and a different era and in a different India. Today, India is a नया भारत. घुस के मारता है और घुस के मारेगा.
तो उससे क्या लेना देना?
You will understand
फिल्म का क्या लेना देना? डायलॉग तो मार लीजिए, लेकिन उससे फिल्म का लेना देना क्या?
Listen.
ये नया भारत है. One film cannot destabilize it. That should be your नारा. ये घुस के मारेगा वाला आप पाकिस्तान को सुनाइए ना, ये तो अपने देश की बात हो रही है.
Film is a good film made by a good cast, but it is not a balance. It does not show the inhuman killings of the other part of the
अच्छा, तो
Punjab.
धुरंधर was
The other
balanced.
part of the Punjab
एक
is
मिनट,
the Hindus
एक मिनट, रुक जाइए. धुरंधर was balanced.
I understand.
Kerala story that got a national award was balanced. Kashmir Files was balanced.
Please listen to it. Please understand something.
ये ना फिल्में हैं.
Extraordinary.
They are not documentaries.
Why was Harmandir Sahib discredited by these people? Why did they misuse the Harmandir Sahib? That is again, it will open up one page after the other, after the other, after the other.
हिस्ट्री पढ़ना अच्छी बात है. हिस्ट्री के पेजेस पढ़ना अच्छी बात है. Those who forget history are condemned to repeat it.
Must come forward and say this is the government order, this is the court order on which we are doing it. If they do not do it, there is a malified interest.
Achha, so you are agreeing that the government should actually come out and tell us why they have banned the film. You are saying that.
I am saying that the OTT platform should come out.
Are the OTT platform? OTT platform has already given its statement.
No,
Mr.
It has just said, it has mixed word and said under the circumstances. What circumstances?
नहीं तो government ये बहुत बढ़िया बात है. गवर्नमेंट कुछ नहीं बोले, सेंसर बोर्ड कुछ नहीं बोले, जिनको बोलना चाहिए आप सब कुछ आप ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म पे डाल दीजिए. और अगेन आई एम सेइंग दिस इज एन ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म दैट इज प्रो द बीजेपी. मिस्टर बेनीवाल, यू वांट टू कम इन?
मैम कह रहे हैं कि घुस के मारेंगे, ऐसा भारत है. आई एग्री, पर वो ऐसा भारत है जो ह्यूमन राइट एक्टिविस्ट्स की बात नहीं सुनेगा. ह्यूमन राइट की कोई मूवी आएगी उसको बैन करेंगे, उसको उतारेंगे क्योंकि उनके नैरेटिव को सूट नहीं करती. I don't agree with this. Unfortunately, this is the second disappearance of Mr. Khalra. First in physical form, and now they want to erase his memory. So this government is definitely after him. This is his second appearance. This is disappearance, and this is very unfortunate.
But again, I am saying the government gains nothing by erasing his story. That is what perplexes me. The government gains absolutely nothing from erasing his story. If anyone were to gain, it was the Congress party. Mr. Barrier.
Yes. See, though 2 points I wanted to raise. One is that a very simple banker, how do they get money, human rights activists, to go abroad to UK and Canada and do all the things? That is one. So-called human rights activists, we have seen number of their bank accounts. Someone in Bombay, a lady, we saw that on the basis of human rights, what all things have happened. That's one. Second, I'm not so impressed when you say that koi bhi story hai dikha do. India में इतनी सारी unpleasant things हुई हैं, and we know that अगर एक-एक riots के बारे में हम यहाँ पर stories दिखाने शुरू किए, और that too अपने opinion, country where unfortunately we fight on the basis of caste and religion, what kind of a situation would happen? It's not so simplistic as you will say, अच्छा कोई भी opinion है, कुछ भी दिखा दो, glorify कर दो chief minister को मारते हुए. It's not so simple. It's good to say out there in the studio, but in ground situation is very, very different. And I'm really, disappointed when I see, of course, I have my own opinion, when such kind of a, discussion happens on the freedom of speech, because ground situation is very, very different.
तो फिर हम तो चाइना बन जाते हैं.
What exactly is
तो फिर हम चाइना बन जाते हैं कि हर जो पिक्चर होती है वो स्पॉन्सर्ड बाय चाइनीज गवर्नमेंट ही होती है. तो हम वही पिक्चर, अब छोड़ो क्या इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मेकर्स ने अपना पैसा खर्च करके पिक्चरें बैन बनाना है. लेट द गवर्नमेंट ओनली नाउ मेक फिल्म्स. एक मिनट, the last word will be to the Aam Aadmi spokesperson who has not got a chance to speak. Mr. Passi, respond to what Mr. Barrier is saying. We'll wrap the discussion after that.
Mr. Barrier is saying the totally unimaginable things. They are saying that such type of movies should be banned, such and such things. Then we are going towards the North Korea. The government will decide what type of movies will be made, what types of shows will be made, what timing भी fix कर दीजिएगा कि कितने से कितने घंटे टेलीविजन देखना है और कौन सा चैनल देखना है. अरे भाई, ये मूवी है, इस मूवी के अंदर ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है जो एंटी नेशनल हो. ये एक हिस्ट्री बता रही है कि कैसे कि पुलिस ने कानून को अपने हाथों में लिया और हमारे ही जुडिशियल सिस्टम ने उनको सजा भी दी है. आप इसको कह रहे हो एंटी नेशनल? आर यू अंडर द प्रेशर ऑफ मिस्टर रवनीत बिट्टू और अंडर द प्रेशर ऑफ एक्स कांग्रेसमैन हु आर रूलिंग द बीजेपी पार्टी?
ओके,
व्हाट आर यू सेइंग? इस मूवी के अंदर श्रेया जी, आई हैव सीन दिस मूवी, द रियलिटी हैज बीन शोन एंड द रियलिटी हैज बीन प्रूव्ड इन द कोर्ट्स. सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन, तो बैन कर दीजिए ना सीबीआई को इन्वेस्टिगेट करने से, बैन कर दीजिए ना कोर्ट्स को इन केसेस को लड़ने से. हमने जहां हिंदू मारे गए, सिख मारे गए, आप क्यों हिंदू सिख करते हो? वो सारे पंजाबी थे, वो सारे ह्यूमन बीइंग थे. व्हाई वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट ह्यूमन बीइंग्स? दंगों पे आपकी बड़ी अच्छी मूवी चलती है, दंगों पे तो आप लोग बड़ी वाहवाही करते हो. केरला स्टोरीज की तो आप बड़ा वाहवाही करते हो. नो डाउट केरला स्टोरीज में कुछ सच हो सकता है, लेकिन आप कश्मीर फाइल्स की तो मैंने भी देखी है, मेरे भी रोंगटे खड़े हुए कश्मीर फाइल्स देख के. व्हाई दिस मूवी? क्योंकि इसमें यह बताया गया कि वो पुलिसमैन जिन्होंने कानून अपने हाथ में लिया उनको भी सजा मिली है. इसमें यह बताया गया कि किलिंग ऑफ ए पर्सन विदाउट एनी रीजन, और जो कि जुडिशियल रीजन होना चाहिए, जुडिशियल ऑर्डर के साथ होनी चाहिए, वो गलत है. और एक ह्यूमन राइट एक्टिविस्ट वो क्या कर रहा था? वो 2000 से ज्यादा अनक्लेम्ड बॉडीज की इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके ला रहा था, और उसी खालरा साहब की इन्वेस्टिगेशन को कोर्ट ने माना है. उनके जो रिकॉर्ड उन्होंने पैदा किया, वो पता किया, उसको माना गया है. और क्या ये सच नहीं था? क्या ये सच नहीं था? बिल्कुल ठीक है. अगर टेररिस्ट किसी को मार रहे थे वो बहुत ही गलत था, लेकिन अगर किसी बेगुनाह को भी मारा गया, उसके बाद आपको पता है कि पंजाब के अंदर कितनी रिसेंटमेंट पैदा हुई है, कितने परिवार जिनके बच्चे चले गए बेगुनाह, उनके मन पे क्या जाती है? हम जख्म भर नहीं रहे थे, जख्म बढ़ा रहे थे ऐसी हरकतों से, और अब आप और जख्म बढ़ा रहे हो. और अकाली दल बात करता है, अकाली दल ने तो 1997 से उस परिवार का साथ ही छोड़ दिया था. कहते बच्चे पाल लो, चेयरमैन नहीं ले लो, क्या रखा है इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में खालरा साहब की?
चलिए हो गया. देखिए, the whole point of living in a democracy and being proud of a democracy is that we can have debates like this, where Mr. Malik and Mr. Barrier will be on one side, and the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Benipal will be on one side. Mr. Rathi will have his own point of view, and I will have an independent point of view. And Mr. Maan will have his own point of view. That's the whole point of living in a democracy. We are very proud of it, but democratic traditions also require us to be tolerant of other people's points of views and let films like Satluj release. We'll leave it there for the moment. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Manish Barrier, Raman Malik, thank you. Bikramjit Passi, thank you. Mr. Benipal, thank you very much. Ramneek Singh Mann, thank you, and Akshay Rathi, thank you for being on the show. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, a quick break. News and updates continue right here on Mirror Now. Thanks for watching and good night.